Heyo, welcome back to my corner. So, about a year and a half ago, I made a video on Mr. Birchum, which, since then, part of the reason why I didn't get to making an episode 2 was because, 1, I'd come down with pneumonia since that video came out. 2, I went into college. 3, I was working on the film, which has been very well received, and I totally recommend you checking it out if you want. But there's some interesting news that happened with Mr. Birchum since I last covered it. When I first covered it, there were only 3 episodes out. I think the 4th one had just come out when I released the video, which, by the way, got blocked worldwide by YouTube because it allegedly copyright, even though it fell under fair use. So it's available on Rumble. So that begs the question, is the show still running? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I just found this out. Apparently, it has not been canceled, even though how it is so bad. It is so bad, season 1 only had 6 episodes. But apparently, we're getting a season 2 in like May of 2026. Why? And even though episode 1 was kind of iffy to bad, you know what? Let's see if this show gets any better. Does it?
Gentlemen, you're about to embark on a noble crusade, which we've been strategically planning for months.
Alright, credit where credit's due. The animation isn't nearly as lifeless as the beginning of episode 1. So we find out that Mr. Birchum and Gage were both in the Navy, and so were these other 2 guys. And Meal Team 6, yes, they do call themselves that, are planning to go around town to get as much free food as humanly possible for Veterans Day. It's also established that these guys have a rivalry with the Army. Hey, just like real life.
Hey, wait a minute. Did you just put me on uniforms because I'm gay?
Yes, but you're also part of the unit. We didn't care what you did with your unit. We didn't ask, you didn't tell.
Daily Wire fights against DEI? Like, that's a very well-known thing. Ironically, this is DEI. I mean, there was literally no reason to make this guy gay. And for the record, no, it does not advance the plot in any way, shape, or form. There's no reason for him to be gay. And they just stick it in there because... token gay guy. Why not? Jeannie wants to join in, but unfortunately for her, meaning very fortunately for the viewer, it's a school night, so this is her only scene in this episode.
Solid mustache, Jeannie.
I cleaned out your electric razor and mixed it with wood putty.
Oh, that was nasty. That is disgusting. What the f*** is wrong with these people? I wonder how they're gonna cover Jeannie in season 2, because the last time I covered this show, since then, Brett Cooper, the voice actress for Jeannie, Brett Cooper, she actually left the Daily Wire, and I will say, good riddance. Thank God she left. Now, unless you're chronically online or watched my BSA video, you very likely don't know who she is. I mean, I make that assumption because I've only ever met one person in my real life who actually knows who she is. Ever. Put this into perspective. I work with the TPUSA chapter on my campus, and even they don't know who she is. But if you're not familiar with her, I'll keep this brief because I really don't like talking about her. And this is by no means an exhaustive list. She defamed the Boy Scouts of America. She potentially defamed Ben Hart. She potentially lied about the Fresh and Fit podcast. She fearmongered about the Apple Vision Pro. She lied about the Trump-Biden debate. She supports child labor, for the record. Yes, she actually supports child labor, and by that I mean children being in the workforce. And most disgustingly of all, she fanned the flames of a defamation campaign against her maid of honor because her maid of honor took her place as the host of the comments section. So if you've ever seen any of my tweets about her and you're wondering, why don't I like her? That's why. But anyway, let's get back to the plot. Eddie enters the room, surprising everyone, looking for a screwdriver. Mr. Birchum then tries to demean Eddie over not knowing how to strategize, which is definitely not the insult you want to throw at a gamer.
I'm actually good at strategy. I took my fall duty team to the West Coast Murder Cup Invitational Finals. We took the high ground and sniped the spawn point, racked up major kills.
So, I'm not a serviceman. I never have been. Whether I will be in the future or not, I can't say because, you know, it's like, I didn't know I'd be doing YouTube when I was 13, and here I am. So take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, and it'd be very interesting to hear from an actual serviceman on this. But this flashback seems really off, because they say, well, we've seen actual combat, and then it goes to the volleyball game, and it seems like it's equivocating the two. I'm not sure how appropriate that is, just in general. Because it's not really... I mean, maybe I'm missing the joke. At least it seems that it's not really funny. So I don't even know what it's for. So while Mr. Birchum is planning an eat-a-thon, Wendy is planning a wives' day at a spa. Cue Chris Rock, Will Smith joke.
Keep my wife's name out of your damn mouth.
So as the wives go off to their spa, the husbands get on this really ragtag school bus and head off to the first location of the day, that being Pancake Apocalypse. Oh, but first we have to cover the side stories.
Pam, I found some really great school uniform options. They'll completely neutralize everyone's presentation to avoid misgendering.
Okay, I can see why people find him annoying. Turns out the principal is not at school today, and wait, isn't this Veterans Day? Why is this school in session anyway? Then briefly we cut to our other side story, which is the wives getting their spa started. And by the way, this little side story is entirely irrelevant to the rest of the plot. You could cut out this entire side story, and the episode would be the exact same. So the Navy men end up running into the Army men at the Pancake Apocalypse.
I thought this was a pancake place, not an old Navy.
Alright, that's a good pun. Both sides are busy throwing comebacks at each other, and the Army is super confident that they're gonna beat the Navy. Beating them in what? Eating more, I guess.
Did anyone have a good comeback? Somebody!
Ooh, I know. Say something about how chiseled he is.
Ray, this is no time to be gay.
I'm sorry, what?
This is no time to be gay.
You know what? You know what? I like that. I'm gonna clip that. Next stop is Wingers, and the Army already beat him to it. This is where the group meets Principal Bortles, the principal of the school Mr. Birchum works at. And she asks Mr. Birchum who's covering his classes, which this is Veterans Day. It's a federal holiday, because we know this takes place in America, meaning, unless this is like a private school or something where they're not closed that day, they're by law closed that day. So after doing a little bit of Googling, it turns out that there are some states that don't mandatorily close public schools on Veterans Day. I know back home, and I know California does it, but let's assume even that this happens in a state where they don't close. Why is the principal here at a bar? So we cut to what the school's like without Mr. Gage and Mr. Birchum, and turns out that all hell broke loose in Gage's classroom, which, how is he not fired? And then in Mr. Birchum's class, one of the kids is teaching the class, and he's doing a better job than Mr. Birchum ever did. Which, why don't they fire Mr. Birchum and replace him with this kid? Mr. Jedi Dude, also known as Elliot, pops into Mr. Birchum's classroom and tells the class that he'll find Mr. Birchum and bring him back. And yeah, I can see why people don't like him. Okay, so this episode does a better job with the Jedi Dude than the first episode. The first episode just had the Jedi Dude, even though it was supposed to be the antagonist. He was the good guy in that one. And then this one, they made progress. They made him annoying. Not the bad guy, mind you, just annoying. Because he's still right here. Obviously, these teachers are slacking and not doing their job, and he's rightfully upset with it. What is this show? But anyway, the principal's more concerned with someone pretending to be a vet to try and get a free beer. And it turns out that she was a member of the Coast Guard, so she joins the Navy boys.
Damn, how much you think all these complimentary mimosas cost?
No additional charge. That's what complimentary means. And this is where the side story gets, say it with me, insufferable.
These are so much better than what I had in 2012 at my Brunch for Barack fundraiser.
And this is exactly why. Because it turns out that Wendy is a 2012 Democrat who really likes Obama and is really into that white guilt stuff. And her friend, I forget her name, is a conservative woman. And part of the reason why Wendy invited her was because she's a black woman. Blah! Our next tourist destination will be the Happy Cow Steakhouse. And the only reason I'm talking about this scene is because of a really bad cutaway gag. They make a joke that Gage pukes everywhere. And they really didn't have to make a montage of everywhere he's puked because everyone gets it. And then they show him vomiting on a penguin for some reason because Antarctica is the one place he hasn't vomited. Then we go back to the spa where we get a brain-dead, overgeneralized liberal point of view mixed with a very sanitized conservative argument, and those two are going at it for some reason. So the next stop is Mama Leone's, which has zero plot significance. And while they're leaving the restaurant, Mr. Jedi sees the principal with the group, so he thinks that she's been kidnapped for some reason. So the last stop is Top's Irish Tavern, and wait a second! I figured out where this show takes place, at least this episode. It takes place in Burbank, California. Want to know how I know that? North Hollywood Way, West Verdugo Avenue, and Google Maps, since asking me anything about Cali is like asking an illiterate person to read. I don't know. Which begs the question, why is this school open on Veterans Day? So the Army and the Navy make it to Top's Irish Tavern at the same time, so they have a dispute about who gets to go in since there's only one table left. And they agree to do it somewhere else because they both agree to not disgrace the tavern. And how they're going to settle the dispute is at the Golden Trough at 5 p.m. and they're gonna have a food fight. I mean, I don't know why you'd waste that food instead of eating it, but you do you, I guess. So back to the spa, and thankfully this is the last scene in the spa because this is getting really insufferable. These two are still arguing about politics in the spa, and then it turns out that the black woman, whatever her name is, voted for Trump. And then Wendy reacts to it as if that's a bad thing. Then the Vietnamese masseuses finally have enough of this nonsense, and they give the lecture about America's the greatest country in the world. Which, is that true? Yes. It's a little preachy. Also yes. Same time, after all of this, is well warranted and they deserve to give that speech. So back to important things like food fights. The army shows up to the agreed time and place, and they get ambushed. And they go down very surprisingly quickly.
We took the high ground and sniped the spawn point.
So I guess Eddie knew what he was talking about after all, huh? You ever gonna thank him? Oh wait, he probably won't. So the Navy won fair and square, but for whatever reason, Mr. Birchum decides to have a change of heart and allows the army to table with them. And so they spend some time bonding. Whoa, hang on a second. There are at least 4 free tables here. Why? Because each one of these guys is taking up a table. What was even the point of the food fight? Mr. Jedi Dude tracks them down, finds out the principal's okay, and he gets bullied out of the room. I mean, is this show trying to paint conservatives as people who bully others for no reason? Cue credits and... wait a second. So upon further research, and yes, I will link the Reddit page that I found this on in the description, Daily Wire, a pro-America company that supports conservative values, literally outsourced their animation to Spain. Well, I mean, it's not entirely to be unexpected because, a lot of people are not going to like me for this, but, Ben Shapiro isn't exactly loyal to America, so I mean, this is not unexpected. Oh, and if you don't believe me about that, here's him saying it directly.
Do you ever wonder if one day you will have to flee the United States?
I mean, I think that every Jew throughout world history who has a brain and knows history has always wondered if a country that is not a Jewish state is going to eternally provide them security guarantees and full citizenship, of course. I mean, that's I think to think that that's why the existence of the State of Israel is the single greatest guarantor of my loyalty to the United States, frankly. Right? Because Israel exists, that means the United States is going to be a more welcoming place for me because Israel is there as a backstop in case anything should go wrong.
And so you don't think I'm taking it out of context? I will link that full video in the description where I found that clip. And essentially, what the rest of that clip is the interviewer trying to press Ben Shapiro farther on why Ben won't just move to Israel. And he says, well, and he gives the boilerplate, well, fighting for American values in America and blah, blah, blah. But he gave his answer there. That's the straightforward answer. His loyalty at best to America, is beneath his loyalty to Israel. That is not loyalty to America. So, I mean, what can you expect? But anyway, that's episode 2 of Mr. Birchum. Overall, was it better than episode 1? Slightly, except for the one side tangent spa thing that was just god-awful. This was better, but it's kind of like looking at a cat taking a dump on your bed, that being episode 1. And then episode 2, the cat takes a dump on your bed, but the pile of poop is smaller than it was before. Is episode 2 better than episode 1? Yeah, relatively speaking. But does that make it good? I mean, do you really want poop on your bed? So that was something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked that video. If you did, go ahead and follow the channel. Check out some of my other socials too, because why not? And hey, if this video does come to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. See ya!